What is up? My name is Jake, and this is Bottom Line. On today's video, we're doing another round of Worth It or Worthless. And the product that we're going to be looking at is ARMRA Colostrum. Now, maybe you've been seeing the colostrum craze that's been going on in the last couple of years. The big winner here has been the brand ARMRA. If you've seen colostrum, it is a high likelihood ARMRA is the brand that you've seen. Maybe you've noticed that my lighting has kind of been all over the place in these first few videos. I'm working on it. I'm self-taught here, figuring it out as we go. I have a new lighting kit coming, but it's not in time for this video. So hopefully this looks a little better than the last one. That's the goal. Keep making this sounding and looking better. Now you've got to look at me, so we're already starting off not great. Now you may be asking yourself, what is colostrum? Maybe you've never heard of what this is. So let's break it down very simply. Colostrum is the first milk that cows and humans make when a baby is born. It's packed with nutrients that help babies grow and stay healthy. Some people think that taking colostrum as a supplement can help adults too. So that's what we're looking at today. Is colostrum worth it or worthless? Let's dive in. And look, this stuff is not cheap. It's 120 bucks a jar. So it's really important when we're talking about whether this is worth it or worthless. Let's dive into what the science tells us about bovine colostrum. Now what these influencers are saying. Because you know those influencers, they'll do anything for $1. First, let's talk potential benefits. Here's what ARMRA says colostrum can do. Number one, help your tummy feel better. Colostrum is rich in immunoglobulins. These are abbreviated as IgG, IgA, and IgM, and lactoferrin. Those are the things that can help strengthen the lining of the gut, making it useful for leaky gut syndrome and IBD, irritable bowel disease. Colostrum contains growth factors, IGF-1, IGF-2, that promote intestinal healing. Bottom line, helps your tummy feel better. Number two, boost your immune system. Having high levels of antibodies and lactoferrin supports immune function. Studies suggest it may help reduce upper respiratory tract infections. In other words, it is supposed to help boost your immune system and could help fight off colds. Number three, athletic performance and recovery. The IGF-1 in colostrum supports muscle repair, strength gains, and endurance. And it may help reduce gut permeability, which is a common side effect in endurance athletes. What that means is they're saying that by taking colostrum, it's going to help your muscles recover, and it might be good for athletes, particularly endurance athletes. Number four, anti-aging and skin health. Growth factors may support collagen production, improving skin elasticity and wound healing. So number four, make your skin look younger. Who doesn't want that? I'll just go ahead and throw this out. This is the most questionable claim to me. And then last of all, antimicrobial and antiviral properties, which help fight bacteria and viruses. Some studies show it may reduce the severity of flu and colds. Point five, fight germs and viruses. Contains some natural substances that may help. So those are the 5 claims. The 5 claims are help your tummy feel better, boost your immune system, help muscles recover, make your skin look young, fight germs and viruses. But does it actually work? What the clinical studies have shown so far for gut health and immunity, there is some strong evidence that supports the use of colostrum here. Yay! So good for gut health and immunity, and clinical studies support this. Let's talk about muscle growth and recovery. Does it actually work? There is some research that suggests there's benefits. The combination of whey protein and creatine is way more effective for muscle building. Especially when you consider the price tag here, it really doesn't make sense to be taking colostrum specifically for muscle growth. You're going to get way better results by using whey protein and creatine. Those have been proven. Anti-aging. Does it actually work? There have been very limited human studies here. Some promising results, but limited human studies. There's just not much research on this yet. So that one's questionable to me. We mentioned that colostrum is the first milk that cows or humans produce when a baby is born. Now, there's not a bunch of women hooked up to milking machines like some Mad Max situation going on here to produce ARMRA colostrum. They're using cows. So let's be clear about that, in case anybody was wondering. So we're talking about bovine or cow colostrum. That's what's in ARMRA. Let's look at the dosing. What is suggested for colostrum use is 1 to 10 grams per day. And how they justify that is lower doses for immunity. So at lower doses, you see benefits fighting germs and viruses. And they're saying you would use a higher dose for gut health and athletic performance. So closer to that 10 gram per day dosage. The other thing that they call out is look for first milking colostrum with high IgG content. So when you look at a bottle of colostrum, most of them, or at least they should, declare the IgG value as a percentage. That's how you know that it's first milking colostrum. It needs to have high IgG content. So back to ARMRA. Here is their claim. Here's what actually shows up on their website. Just as skin protects our bodies on the outside, our inside surfaces are also protected by a barrier called the mucosa. The mucosa lines everything along the sinuses, lungs, and gut. It is your first line of defense against harmful particles inhaled and ingested from the environment. Everyday exposures like air pollution, agriculture, pesticides, chemicals in our food, water, home, and body products, processed food ingredients, microbiome imbalance, and other factors disrupt these mucosal surfaces, leading to an impaired barrier where unwanted particles can more easily penetrate the body. ARMRA Colostrum harnesses nature's 300 million year old bioactive food, colostrum, to naturally rebuild and strengthen mucosal barriers throughout your body. It is the first whole food that targets the root cause of today's common health issues. All right. When you take ARMRA Colostrum, you fuel your body with potent prebiotics that support your microbiome, a host of peptides and antibodies that strengthen your immune barriers, and dozens of antioxidants and bioactive molecules that optimize cellular pathways throughout your body for synergistic revival of your whole body health. Sounds pretty impressive, if I say so myself. Okay, dosage. So they list a dose of ARMRA at a gram. In other words, that low dose for immunity. And then they say there's 120 servings. Sounds impressive, but if you're taking 5 to 10 grams per day of this stuff for gut health and performance, that's only going to last you 10 to 24 days. And it's $120. I actually recommend 4 scoops daily. So really that's 30 servings or a month worth for $120. So it's not cheap. ARMRA Colostrum is grass-fed and calf-first source bovine colostrum from family dairy farms in the USA, America. So it checks that box. And then we went over their claims. So they're saying ARMRA Colostrum helps fortify gut health. They're saying 86% of their users are noticing less bloating. So if you have extreme bloating issues, maybe this could be worth it. But there are other options for bloating that are cheaper. However, bloating sucks. So if you've tried a bunch of other stuff, maybe this is worth it to try it. So then they're saying strengthen immunity. There's some evidence there that clinical studies show. The rest of this is questionable to me. They're saying ignite metabolism. I don't know. Enhance skin radiance. That is impossible to prove, which is why it's worded that way. Enhance skin radiance. Like, what the f does that even mean? Upgrade your energy. Well, there's vitamins that are contained in this, so they can say that. I don't think you're really going to notice an energy boost. Fuel performance and recovery. We already talked about this. Stick with whey protein and creatine. Vitalize hair growth. They're saying 79% of our users reported thicker hair. Are they measuring hair here? Are they really measuring their hair follicles to show the growth? I don't know. I think that's questionable. And then elevate mood and focus. I guess that's an impossible claim to prove or disprove, so they can say it. There are vitamins naturally occurring in colostrum, so I guess that's why they can say that. But it is a whole food source of over 400 functional bioactive nutrients, and that's what we're getting at here. Studies. The initial studies do show some promise with colostrum in certain areas such as immune function and gut health. So we went over that. But research into colostrum supplements in humans is still in the early stages. For this reason, it's really too soon to say for sure whether bovine colostrum supplements can really benefit humans. Really, we need more studies and more data collected before we know for sure this works and then accurate usage. Until that happens, most doctors and people doing the studies would say, we don't know yet. The other thing to bring up too is if you're lactose intolerant, if you're sensitive to dairy, you're not going to want to take colostrum. It's first milk. So first milk. Let's dive a little more into some actual studies though. In human trials, there is some real evidence of this being effective from bovine colostrum, specifically related to inflammatory bowel disease and in infectious diarrhea. So there is some proof there if you've got some severe gut issues. But another study points out that bovine colostrum and human colostrum, the composition is different. It's not apples to apples, which should be obvious. We're talking about humans versus a cow. So it's not a complete substitute for human milk. Sorry. This study does point out that there has been some positive effects for adolescents, adults, and the elderly, as well as actually some infants that have used bovine colostrum, and it has some positive effects for people who have used it from an immune perspective and an immune boosting perspective. So, bottom line, worth it or worthless? This one is a little more tricky, because research indicates that there are some beneficial effects of bovine colostrum on immune function and intestinal integrity, specifically surrounding exercise-induced stress. That's what the studies have shown. While these studies are promising, it's important to note that research is ongoing. More extensive clinical trials are needed to really get to the bottom of this. The bottom line here, to me, is unless you're already suffering with bad gut health or have actual bowel diseases, you've already tried a bunch of potential fixes that aren't working. This is not worth it to me. But I also don't think it's necessarily worthless. The science is really intriguing. We just don't know enough yet. Maybe that is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years. Who knows? We don't have enough reliable data. So if you have money to burn and don't mind the cost, it might be worth it to try it out for gut health. Or if you're someone who gets a lot of upper respiratory tract infections. But if your gut health is already good, I would pass. Because really, you're going to need more than 1 scoop a day for real results. So it's not going to last you 120 days. Actually, a single jar might only last you 10 to 24 days if you take enough. It's very expensive. As we've shown, some studies show that it is helpful for gut health and immunity, especially for athletes, but more research is needed before we know for sure how well it works for everyone. And it's not a good choice if you're sensitive to dairy. So, bottom line, if you have bad gut health and nothing else works, maybe try it. If you have extra money and like to try new stuff, go for it. But if you're already healthy, probably not worth it. Thanks for checking out this video. Have you tried colostrum? If so, have you noticed a difference? Have you grown the luscious locks Fabio? Have you developed new superpowers because you cannot get sick? Are you bulking in the gym and the muscles are popping out of your shirt? Or did you not notice the difference? If you've tried colostrum, whether it's ARMRA Colostrum or some others, would love to hear your feedback. What ARMRA Colostrum has done really well is show up as the market leader in creating this new category of supplements. So kudos to them for doing that. I think that they've done it really well. I think they've marketed themselves really well. It comes off as scientific and authoritative. I just don't know that it's there yet for me personally, but that's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Thanks for checking out this video, and stay tuned for what we'll be talking about next. If you have any other products that you've wanted a review on to get bottom line information on, leave it in the comments and give me some ideas.